The crew was awakened at 1:10 Central Time this afternoon, about 8.5 hours prior to launch. The crew members then participated in final pre-launch activities. You see them exiting the rooms here with the medical staff and the training staff watching over them. Some of their family members were there. There is Bill Gerstenmaier, NASA's head of human spaceflight, the Associate Administrator for Human Explorations and Operations. They observed a long-standing tradition by autographing the doors to the rooms that they stayed in at the Cosmonaut Hotel there in Baikonur. You see some of the other names that have been signed over the months and years. Yuri Malenchenko went first. Each crew member signed the doors of their quarters where they stayed for about a week and a half during their final launch preparations. Aki Hoshide there signing his name. They typically write what expedition they are part of, as well as the date that they were there, the date that they stayed. There goes Sunny Williams signing hers. Of course, she's done this before. You see Shannon Walker's signature there close to Sunny's.
Sunny, can we get a smile when you're done?
Sunny drawing the literal interpretation of her name there. Once they were done, they walked out to some fanfare, and they got ready to receive the traditional blessing from a Russian Orthodox priest. Each crew goes through this.
Always with you, and I bless you on your journey. God be with you. Thank you.
About 3:40 p.m. Central Time, the crew departed the Cosmonaut Hotel and boarded a bus for the ride to the Integration and Suit-Up Facility at Building 254 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. This is the final chance for family members and friends to see the crew members up close and personal before they head down to the Baikonur Cosmodrome and get suited up. The crew climbs aboard that big tour bus with their medical staff and a couple of support people. They give one final wave to their friends and family there on the ground. They view a traditional movie as they head toward the launch site itself. And they get ready to go through final preparations for the flight. The crew arrived at Building 254 about 4:25 p.m. Central Time. Each crew member underwent final medical exams, then suited up in their Sokol launch and entry suits. The suits were pressurized to ensure the integrity of their seals before the crew left for the launch pad. The actual suit-up activities began at 5:10 p.m. Central Time, about 4.5 hours prior to launch. This is a very systematic process as each of these crew members gets buttoned up in their suits. These will be the suits that they will wear at the end of their journey as they come back home. These suits are quite different from NASA's launch and entry suits, the famous orange pumpkin suits that you've seen the shuttle crews use. As you can tell, the helmet is already fixed to the back of the suit, which is different than what the shuttle astronauts used to use. They climb down into a mock-up of the chair or the couch that is actually inside the Soyuz. Their suits are actually inflated and pressurized to make sure that there's no leaks and everything is as expected. As you can tell from the position of Yuri Malenchenko, those couches are very tight quarters for each one of the crew members. While he was doing that, Aki Hoshide sat by and waited for his turn. Sunny Williams getting her watch strapped on there so she can keep apprised of the countdown timeline.
This one, as soon as we get in the spacecraft, I'm going to put it on the Bruce. Leave it there.
Just leave it there.
Make me look bad.
Beautiful. He's keeping his house.
This is Mission Control Houston. Sunny Williams there earlier today climbing in that mock-up of the chair that is inside the Soyuz that she will ride to space in. The crew was going through their final leak checks of their Sokol launch and entry suits. It's a very methodical process for the crew members to climb in. They'll close their visor, which you'll see here shortly. They pressurize the suit, monitor the pressure inside of it. make sure that there's no leaks or anything like that.
На вашу you can talk a little bit and we have about hour, but it's your choice. How much? How much? Остаетесь? You're gonna...
From behind a protective pane of glass to maintain their quarantine status, the crew spoke with various Russian, Japanese, and NASA managers, their friends, and their family. Families got a chance to talk to them and wish them well as they got ready to head down to the launch pad and prepare for this flight into space. If you notice something about these crew members, whenever they sit down, they actually sit down in the exact order in which they will be sitting inside the Soyuz itself. So you'll always see Yuri Malenchenko, who is the commander, there in the middle. To his left is always Sonny Williams, and to his right is Aki Hoshide.
How are you feeling? All the checkouts are complete. We're feeling well. We're doing great. We're all ready. Let me wish you good flight once again. It's another opportunity to have a small talk. And then the immediate preparation will start, minute after minute, all spelled out. And I'm sure everything will be fine. Everything is going well, everything is nominal. The control group are all ready. at the consoles, and we are waiting for you, basically.
Подстраховываем всё. Ребята.
Well, I'll say a few words afterwards. I also try to be brief, don't want to take too much time. And I'd like to wish all the best to my good friend, to the commander who was sent in the very same place back 18 years ago. And you have so much experience, wealth of experience, I'm sure you'll be fine. Head in there. Also, same to everybody. All the best, everything imaginable possible. Looking forward to seeing you back. Thank you. I'm glad to see you too. Thanks for words. And we're both Euros. So that makes sense. All the best.
Bye-bye.
The crew, as they get ready to head down to the launch pad, took one final chance to get their picture taken. They were walked up to the actual launch structure itself. There's a group of well-wishers down there to bid the crew farewell. Soyuz itself had been fueled about 3 hours before launch. But the crew bid their final farewells to the ground teams there and the people that have helped them get ready for this flight. They then climbed the steps up to the Soyuz, posed for a couple more pictures, and then they hopped on board the elevator that took them to the top of the rocket. This pad that this Soyuz rocket is currently sitting on and that the crew boarded just a couple of hours ago, we always remind people, is very historic. This is the very first pad that Yuri Gagarin launched from. It, of course, was the first human in space. This is also the same pad that the Sputnik satellite was launched from back in the 1950s. And to this day, it is the home of the Soyuz rocket and the Soyuz spacecraft. There you see the backup crew walking away with the American, Japanese, and Russian flags there, waving in the wind as the sun was rising there at the launch site.